All right. Good morning. Good morning. The Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We are streaming on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Out of Bounds Sports. We would love for you to go and subscribe. YouTube channel, Out of Bounds Sports. You can see the shirt I'm wearing, and it says, "This shirt feeds people." Extratable.org. We'll talk about that with Robert St. John, among other things. Robert has been through the ringer, like a lot of people, as he shut down all of his restaurants several weeks ago with the pandemic. And then he went full speed ahead with extratable.org. And then we had the storms as they got hammered down there, Easter. And then he has also reopened his, I don't know how many. I know Crescent City Grill is open, and he can tell us more about that. But he owns Crescent City Grill, Mahogany Bar, Tabella Branch, Purple Parrot, Ed's, and so on. So we welcome in Robert St. John from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, restaurateur and civic warrior on the Miller Lite guest line. RSJ, good morning, bud.
Good morning, Bo. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. I appreciate your time. And I'd like to start with Extra Table, if that's okay. And then I'd like to jump into Crescent City Grill and the NFL draft and all that kind of good stuff. So I follow y'all, everything that you and your team are doing. It's an amazing mission. So I feel like you're doing something different every week and every day. So tell everybody once again about Extra Table and then what's been happening the last few days, Robert.
Sure. Well, I feel like the world is changing every day, so we're just trying to keep up with the situation we're dealing with and look forward. So Extra Table is a 501c3 nonprofit I started back in 2009 with a simple mission to use business principles in a nonprofit, and we raise money. We use 100% of that money to purchase healthy food, and then use different food purveyors to ship that food. So we take advantage of their inventory, their purchasing power, and their shipping, and then we get it to agencies. We ship to 40 agencies all across Mississippi. Typically, you've got about 680,000 Mississippians who suffer from what the government calls food insecurity. A lot of those are seniors. You've got about 125,000 seniors. This is a real deal, man. They are sitting at home right now trying to figure out, can they go to the grocery store or pay the electric bill? And now they can't even leave the house in this situation. You've got about 200,000 kids who have a school breakfast and a school lunch and then don't eat again until the next day. And now they aren't in school. And so there are all these issues. A lot of these agencies across the state, which are run mostly by churches and other organizations that get food to people who need them, are swamped right now because so many people are out of work, so many people are hurting, some people don't qualify for governmental assistance, some people still trying to make ends meet. You got a lot of single moms working 2 jobs, things like that. So that's who we supply, those type places. And really, over the last 5 weeks, the client list of these places has gone way, way up. You hear people who say, I never thought I would, come to a place like this, but I need help. And so that's who we supply. And we use 100% of the money we raise to purchase healthy food. We ship it to these agencies to try to help them kind of carry their load, because a lot of them are run by volunteer labor and stuff like that. And right after this kind of shutdown started, we cleared out 3 huge casinos on the coast and got a lot of their perishables and took them to agencies all along the coast. We've been doing that ever since. Supot, Jackson, there's several churches in the Metro Jackson area. Taking a couple of Borton trucks up there. I don't know, we've maybe gone through 1,000 gallons of milk we've given away. I mean, just tons of food. We filled up, I think, 3 tractor trailer loads the other day.
Wow. And
just started giving it away. So it's one of these things that you think, I'm telling you, man, I used to be cynical. I'd hear these stories about people ripping off food stamps and getting this and taking advantage of the system, and there's probably a little of that goes on, but if it is, it's way less than 5%. What you see if you'll go to these places, my eyes were open because I was pretty cynical about it. I was like, man, people aren't really hungry. This is America. but it's a real thing. You know, I grew up with a single mom who was an art teacher. She raised my brother and me up on an art teacher salary, but we never went hungry. And so it kind of hits home to me. I got to a point, kind of had this epiphany in 2009 when he told me this thing that, you know, I've been in the restaurant business for 40 years now, but I mean, do I want to be the guy that fed people filet mignon, or do I want to be the guy who feeds people canned tuna? And, you know, I need to be the guy that feeds people filet mignon, so I put my kids through college, but I think I'm supposed to be that guy who feeds people canned tuna, and so that's why I kind of keep doing the extra table thing, because it's really making a difference. And thank you for buying that badass shirt, by the way.
I love it. I'm wearing it right now on the set.
Well, we've those have really gone crazy. If anybody's interested, then they can see Bo's shirt. It's a really cool shirt. You just go to extratable.org. I think it's $22 shipped to your house. All that money goes to help feed those who need right now.
That's extratable.org. If you'd like to get involved, extratable.org. We're visiting with Robert St. John, restaurateur, entrepreneur, civic warrior, among other things. He joins us on the Miller Lite guest line. And, of course, he has Tabella, Branch, Crescent City Grill, Mahogany Bar, Purple Parrot, Ed's Burger Joint, and I may have missed one. And so
Midtowner and Midtown Donuts.
Midtowner, where I've been, at Midtown Donuts. And so Robert's world has been rocked too, like many people. And so this is not always a great segue, but we are going to segue. You're listening to the Out of Bounds Show on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. And again, we would love for you to go and check out what Extra Table is doing. They do a great job on Facebook, and also extratable.org, extratable.org. And then Robert's team does an amazing job on Facebook. And you can follow Robert on Facebook, too, because he's always sharing and posting on the different things that they are doing. And they've jumped straight in on the first responders and the Forest General Hospital and everything else down there as far as feeding the first responders, nurses, physicians, and medical care people. So also through this, because we all have to figure it out, I know that you have opened up Crescent City Grill. You may have more open, but walk us through where you are with your restaurants right now, Robert.
Yeah, but we're charting waters that we've never navigated before. It's all uncharted waters at this point. I've been in the business since '81 and an owner since '87, and you know, this is all new. We've never had the government shut us down, and what deals with that, and then how you hire people back who are making a substantial amount of money on unemployment, which we're glad for. But Tabella, our Italian concept, never closed. We've always done pretty substantial curbside business there, and we continue to do curbside business. We're running it with just the managers and a couple of hourly people, and can pull that off. Everything else kind of closed within days of each other. We gave it a shot, but some of the models are very prep intensive and fine dining. The Purple Parrot, the one I opened first in '87, the fine dining restaurant, nobody's in the mood for that right now. So it's we don't do curbside there, but Crescent City Grill, we reopened this week. It's been really nice. We do a lot of different things there. About to kick in a lot of crawfish features. We do a special feature menu every year of crawfish. In the summer, we do crab, and later in the fall, shrimp. And we had just started the crawfish menu when this thing went down. So we're going to bring some of those things back, and you just have to adjust your business. Everybody seems to be doing it. And, you can't work with more than 10 people right now in a building, which is fine. Everybody's gloved, everybody's masked. We always practice good sanitation, so, food handling and everything is always safe. And we just let people drive up. We actually deliver there, too. So, if somebody wants it within a 10-mile radius, we'll hop in a car and bring it to them. That's what we're dealing with these days. But Ed's Burger Joint will be opening today. We're going to give it a shot and see how it goes.
Good.
And we're just kind of coming back slowly but surely.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I've found is that people are all in on takeout and curbside, and obviously the feedback we received is that they feel comfortable and safe with that. So for our listeners, Crescent City Grill is open. You've got the Mardi Gras pasta, blackened chicken fettuccine. You've got the shrimp po' boys, the catfish po' boys. Now RSJ is also doing Feed the Family. That's dinner for
Yeah.
4 and dinner for 8 at Crescent City Grill. And as he just mentioned, Ed's Burger Joint, which is right beside Crescent City Mahogany Branch and Purple Parrot, they're rolling that out. Are you doing it lunch or later this afternoon,
Yeah, no,
RSJ?
no, no. We'll do lunch and dinner, abbreviated hours, I think 11 to 7, which will be cool.
Yeah. Um,
And then we're just going to navigate through how to bring this state back. So
Yeah, that's what we have to do. So you can find all the information on Facebook, Crescent City Grill, Ed's Burger Joint, and RSJ mentioned Tabello never went down. That's what he's been running most of the first responders and Forest General and all that through, and he's had anonymous donors and so on step up, and it's been a pretty amazing and remarkable deal the last couple of weeks. All right, so Crescent City Grill is open, Tabella is open, and Ed's Burger Joint starting today is open. Do I have all that right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. We'll run that way for a few weeks and then wait on word from the governor. And I'm on the governor's commission for economic recovery, so I'll get kind of our second meeting is tomorrow, and I'll get some updates from the governor there. And we'll start. We're not necessarily the ones making the decisions on, any health issues when it's safe to come back, things like that. We're working on how to bring the state back and how to bring the state's economy back. Joe Sanderson is heading up that committee, and there's some fine people on there. The very good friend of mine and a very successful business person from this area, Jonathan Jones, represents there are 5 people who represent the old congressional districts who are the executive committee, and then there are maybe 10 or 11 of us as commissioners on this. And Barbara appointed me to the commission after Katrina, and Jim Barksdale headed that up. And Jim Barksdale did a bang-up job, and that commission made huge strides and did a great job bringing Mississippi back. This one is going to be just the same, and all your listeners should feel very confident that through the leadership of Joe Sanderson on this commission and the people he has appointed, present company excluded, you've got some of the great business minds in the state of Mississippi, and so there are going to be some great solutions. I've already heard a good number of them that have been bandied about so far, and we'll get a lot more direction in our call tomorrow, and I'd be happy to come back and point all of that to you later.
Yeah, when you start to mention people like Jim Barksdale and Joe Sanderson and Jonathan Jones, that's some big time talent in the room. So, and I know that y'all are working night and day to figure this thing out and for us to reboot and get this thing back going. Robert St. John, restaurateur, entrepreneur, extratable.org, on the governor's task force. He joined us on the Miller Lite guest line. He has 3 restaurants open in Hattiesburg right now for curbside and to go. It's Tabella, and it is Crescent City Grill, and of course, and Ed's Burger Joint will open today. You've got the NFL draft tomorrow, so you may grab some Mardi Gras pasta, you may grab some burgers, you may grab a pizza. And we all need a little sports in our life, so we'll see what happens with our Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Southern Miss players, and then Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa and so on. RSJ, I can't thank you enough for all your hard work and everything you do for Mississippi, and appreciate your time today. And we want our listeners to go to extratable.org or find Extra Table on Facebook. And then we also want you to get some delicious to-go orders from Crescent City Grill, Tabella, and Ed's Burger Joint. RSJ, I appreciate.
Thank you so much. And one thing real quick, and I know you have to go, I just want to encourage everybody that's listening right here to just keep looking forward. Keep looking through that front windshield. Let's live in the solution. Don't focus on the problem other than what we can do today to because pretty sure if we keep focusing on the solution, if we live in the solution, that problem's going to be in the rearview mirror, and that's where we need to be right now. So y'all hang in there. We're going to make it.
Thanks, RSJ. I appreciate it, bud.
All right, buddy.
Live in the solution. Robert St. John, his restaurant's open. Tabella, Crescent City Grill, and Ed's Burger Joint will open today. And, of course, he's got extratable.org that delivers food to 40 agencies around the state of Mississippi, people who need meals and need food. Extratable.org. I'm wearing the T-shirt right now. You can watch the show on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Just search Out of Bounds Sports. All right. Appreciate Robert St. John, restaurateur and entrepreneur, joining us on the Miller Lite guest line. Blake, we'll do a station ID. Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, live in the Bank Plus studio. We started the show with some NFL draft, then it led us to Mississippi high school football and Cam Akers, which is fascinating to me, kind of where he is. I did not know this. Blake told me that Daniel Jeremiah, who I really like and listen to his podcast when I can, Daniel Jeremiah, you're going to see him all over the tube, well, all over everywhere the next few days. He's with the NFL Network. He has Cam Akers as his number 55 prospect, regardless of position, which is awesome. He has him at number 55. He's got him as the 5th best running back in the draft, and we'll see where Cam goes. He may slip into the second round. We feel confident that he'll go in the 3rd, and then we feel confident that Sadiq Charles out of Madison Ridgeland Academy and LSU will go late 2nd or go into the 3rd round. He won the national championship with the LSU Tigers this year. And then Willie Gay could end up popping in the 3rd round, maybe earlier, but it looks like we're going to have a lot of 3rd round activity between Cam Akers, Clinton, Florida State, Sadiq Charles, Madison Ridgeland Academy, LSU, and then Willie Gay, Starkville High School, Mississippi State. Could be some other guys. There's some other talented athletes that are coming out. We'll just see how that looks. We also asked you who's the best Mississippi high school football player you've ever watched play. Got a lot of Marcus Dupree, got some Norwood, some David Fair, and then, of course, Cam Akers. Tony Connor was one that popped up. Tony's one of the most talented players that I have definitely ever watched play, high school or college pre-injury. The guy was just unstoppable at South Panola and could do it all. Played offense. Played special teams. Remember that? Was it the punt return he took back against Hoover? They're about to get blown out, and he takes a punt return, I think, down the right sideline against Hoover High School. Hoover was incredible that year. And Connor, I think, was that 2010 team. And you know what's interesting about that is all those guys from that recruiting class stepped in day one and were all good. That's rare that happens, even if you sign 5 stars. Baseball doesn't happen for Ole Miss, MSU. Basketball, it hasn't happened for MSU. Football, but Tunsil was fantastic. Treadwell was fantastic. Kimdichie was unbelievable. Ingram ended up playing like a 5-star, even though he wasn't. But Tony Connor, I thought, as a freshman, and what Dave Womack did with him was pretty freaky. Because, yeah, he played safety, but they lined him up so many, all over the field, and he could just ruin your day if you were an opposing team, because you felt like wherever the ball was, Tony Connor was there.
Could Tony Connor have been a Tyrann Mathieu Honey Badger-like player for Ole Miss?
Maybe. He was awesome all of his freshman year and into, what was it? It was late his sophomore year when he had that injury. I want to say it was game 8, 9, or 10. You don't have to look it up. I like where you're going there. He was one of those guys that they basically played. He played safety. He played linebacker. One play he'd be on the line of scrimmage. The next one he'd be 10 yards back. The next one he'd be 6 yards off the ball. And he was awesome. And the ground that he could cover, his physicality, just kind of a get-it guy, was always around it. He's one of the best players I've ever – I thought for sure, considering this day and age in medicine, that he would come back
Yeah,
and be
had
fine.
had a meniscus tear against Arkansas,
Just-
11-7. Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah, it was late in the year.
Yeah.
Late in the year.
And you're right. I mean, but we heard Dr. Kraft talk about that. The meniscus is so much like ACL and MCL are kind of easier to repair. Like the meniscus is the hinge on the knee, and so Dr. Kraft was talking about that with Tua and some of that different stuff, and how like Jeffrey Simmons came back so quickly that nowadays with the technology we can do that stuff. But I mean, there's still things about the human body we are barely understanding, or like trying to figure out how to mimic, how to replace, how to recreate.
I didn't wrap my brain around the fact that he wouldn't be coming back as Tony Connor.
I doubt anybody did.
I just thought, just the way that knee injuries are today, I expected him to come back. He was an All-American. I'll tell you this, Blake. He wasn't just All-SEC. He was an All-American level player at whatever you want to call
it.
him.
It took Teddy Bridgewater
Safety.
3 years to get back from his injury. Obviously, it was a little bit more severe.
He looked heavier and slower. He almost played linebacker for Womack that last year. And those last game in the Egg Bowl, he didn't even look like the same. He just didn't. Yeah. He was a shadow of what he was.
And some people's bodies don't recover the same way.
It's weird.
You could have the same injury to someone, and they be back and be fine.
Right.
You just don't know. I mean, Greg Oden was that way, where like he got injured, and then all of a sudden it just degenerated immediately, and. So I don't know.
You know what we were talking about yesterday was Leighton Vander Esch, the linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, who's helped Dak Prescott the last couple of years get off the field so that Dak could come on the field, and his neck injury. We'll have to get a neck and spine guy on from Mississippi Sports Medicine Orthopedic Center, walk us through Leighton Vander Esch's injury, because he was playing at an all-pro level.
Yes.
And he's an absolute freak.
Yeah.
He's almost Gronk at the linebacker position at what is he, 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
Middle linebacker. Wears the cowboy collar, old school style, out of Boise State. So hardworking kid.
Fast, physical freak, Leighton Vander Esch out of Boise. Did you see where Boise furloughed their college football coaches? I had not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to save some checks.
Yeah.
Trying to save cash somewhere.
That was interesting. What that kind of jumped off the page at me last night.
Yeah.
When I saw that. Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Superior Foundation for all your foundation needs. Superior Foundation, superior.ms. They'll take care of your foundation repairs and back it up with a warranty. Todd Sandridge, Trey Pace, home and commercial builders. They just built the new Rick's Pro Truck. Beautiful building. Rick's Pro Truck, the new shop in Gluckstadt, is nice. Really, really nice. And Todd and Trey built that, along with the Madison Ridgeland Academy press box and new visitor stands, or bleachers, seats. And then foundation repairs, Superior Foundation. Also brought to you by Mudbugs. Mudbugs is slinging crawfish for you. Crawfish and shrimp, all at Mudbugs. 2 locations in Rankin County, Brandon. Mudbugs, best crawfish in Mississippi.